Hello, I am Yoonseo Choi, and I'm a sophomore at Holga Christian Academy in Seoul. Let me ask you, have you ever ridden a boat in the raging sea? Imagine yourself in the middle of a violent storm on a shaking boat, not knowing either which way to go or what dangers lie in the vicinity. In the midst of this uncertainty, you spot a lighthouse in the distance. Immediately, you are able to navigate your way back to shore safely. Today, I would like to share how BJU textbooks have acted as a lighthouse, steering me away from the lies of this world and guiding me to develop a solid biblical perspective for understanding the world. Many people think that the main role of a lighthouse is to navigate the way for lost ships, which is indeed one. But actually, the lighthouse's primary purpose is to illuminate waterways when a ship pulls into a port in darkness, so that it may not crash onto perilous reefs. In the same manner, BJU textbooks, through biblical truths, shed light on the humanistic perspectives and secular values I should reject. I'm constantly challenged to think critically and analyze what I learn in the perspective of the Word. Repeating this day by day, I find myself trained to evaluate knowledge based on the truth and filter out any distorted messages that have been discreetly embedded. Although it is not always easy to discern between good and evil, right and wrong, I'm confident that with the Word as a light unto my feet, I'm able to perceive and live in this world as God desires. The second foremost important role of a lighthouse is to stand as a mark for sailors to navigate ships' course across the waves. Similarly, BJU Books have led my path with biblical truths so that I can apply the Word in real life. I believe one of the most important duties for all students, including myself, is to study. To help fulfill this God-given responsibility, BJU Books not only lecture academic materials, but also teach the reason for studying, that it is to glorify God and to obey His commands, to love Him and one another. BJU literature books especially teach valuable life lessons regarding biblical principles. By analyzing literary text with the scripture and deriving biblical morals, I could learn how I should live following God. For instance, BJU's American literature book highlights God's providential care evidenced in early Protestant colonists' writings, demonstrating how God had led them through their hardships. This allows me to contemplate God's providence in my life as well during hard times. Now, let's go back to the lighthouse analogy. Since the invention of a lighthouse, the structures and appearances of a lighthouse have evolved depending on the cultures and times. But what remains unchanged and will never change is the fact that lighthouses emit light. With the discoveries of new facts and inventions, BJU textbooks may come out with new additions and designs. However, one thing that will never change is the biblical truths that are deeply embedded into the textbooks. My life is a living proof that establishing a biblical perspective in students is critical for raising a generation to love God and to obey His commandments. In that sense, BJU textbooks teach exactly what students need to learn, how to understand the world from a biblical perspective. I hope BJU Press can continue to function as a lighthouse for students all over the world. What I'm certain of is that this light is the one that will never be put out. Thank you for listening.